Howdy sports fans, and welcome to our latest edition of Sports Speak here on GuamSportsNetwork.com. We have a special feature in part of the GSPN Anti-Bullying Campaign. We're so glad to have Brandon The Truth Vera here on Guam, and also coming up a little bit, the legend Royce Gracie as well. But Brandon, thanks for coming back, and thank you for taking part of this anti-bullying campaign. What made you say yes to join us here on Guam to do this campaign?
Man, it was a couple of things. First of all, I'm all for anti-bullying campaigns. I hate bullies. I actually used to hunt bullies when I was a little kid. We're on Guam. It's on Guam. I can help Guam and be on beautiful Guam. And when you told me that the legend, Mr. Royce Gracie, was going to be here, man, it was a slam dunk. I'm all in.
As most of you know, Brandon, former UFC title contender, now the heavyweight champion of ONE FC, and he moved over to Manila. He's fallen in love with Guam for his last couple of visits here. Tell us about that and your plans of, having Guam as part of in your heart.
I fell in love with Guam the first time I came. I enjoyed the scenery, the people, the vibe. I'm really close, almost family with Fakai and with pretty much everybody that I've met here. I'm very much looking forward to farming here in the future. From Philippines to here to San Diego, I just want to hop back and forth between all places. And I was speaking with you earlier. I'd really like to make anti-bullying part of my campaign here on Guam every time I'm here. So I very much looking forward to getting that going with you as well, Patrick.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well. We've already did a little bit going out to JP Torres the other day, the Crime Stoppers, and we're going to continue with the next couple of days. So far, how have you taken in the kids? We've concentrated on the at-risk population, and so do you think we're being effective with this anti-bullying campaign so far?
I think the at-risk population is the most in need of anti-bullying campaigns and people speaking to them, actually speaking with them, not speaking at them, so that they have role models to look up to and some kind of guidance outside of their home, if there is any guidance at their home, I'm not saying there isn't. It's just, man, sometimes it's better to hear it from an outside source than just your mom and dad or your uncles, your aunts, and people that you see every day. So the impact that we're making is, I'm watching these guys when we first start talking, is they're all looking at us like they're hard, the hard-headed, knucklehead island kids. But after we start talking to them, they start smiling, they start giggling, we all start having a good time. They're asking for our Instagram and stuff, if we can follow them, how long we're going to be on. Then they're interested. They want to know about training. They want to know about how to become a better person. Yesterday at one of the events we went to, there was a kid who actually got an award at the very end of the ceremony because this at-risk youth actually was helping disarm children who was causing a riot at his school. Man, right after the event, I know everybody was grabbing me and trying to get me to grab pictures, but I pushed everybody out of the way and I ran and found that kid and I shook his hand. So aside from us helping them, I guess it's kind of helping me in a sense, seeing that it's actually happening, it's working. There's already kids who are labeled as troubled youth, who are doing positive things on island, and I think we need to start highlighting those kids, those youth's accomplishments, instead of just always focusing on the bad. That way, everybody wants to be famous now. Let's be famous for being good, especially the kids, man. That's a huge deal. That's a super huge deal. I don't think he understood how big that reward was, that award was, until he got it and everybody started running up to him saying, oh my God, it was such a good thing. So I hope we can just continue the same path and help just spreading the word of training and love and learning how to not use violence.
Amen to that, brother. And thank you once again for joining us and coming to Guam, taking some time out. You're a busy guy. You're like a mega star in the Philippines, man. So having you here and just seeing like even the Filipino community here on Guam taking that approach with you and being in awe of your presence. So appreciate that. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna have the legend Royce Gracie with us, and later on, Brandon's gonna be interviewing Royce. So stay tuned for that. That should be interesting. We'll be right back.
We've been able to tour the island and stop at a couple different schools. Some of the places that are a little bit more rough than
than some of the other public schools. JT Torres, spreading love, not hate, talking about violence, how, it's an island, people fight. We're trying to get the message around across that we should be helping each other instead of fighting against each other, and making sure that when violence is in use, that somebody's getting paid for it at a sanctioned event.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Mighty Purple in Hagåtña with a special edition of Sports Speak. We spoke to Brandon The Truth Vera. Now, our good friend, the legend, the godfather of MMA, Mr. Royce Gracie. Royce, thanks for coming back to Guam, man. We really appreciate it. He was here in 2015 to take part of the GSPN Kids Jiu-Jitsu tournament, and now he's back for the Anti-Bullying Campaign. Tell us why, Royce, you came back to Guam, and how has the campaign been going so far?
This first trip over here a year ago, was to teach, to help out, teach and spread the art of my father create, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. This time, I noticed it's all a campaign against bullying. So I don't believe in bullying. A lot of the times the problem is not the kids getting bullied, but the bully kids. You see, you gotta fix them. Why are they bullying the little ones? It's because they need to reassure that they're strong, that they are overpowering. So I'm in favor of putting them in sports, any kind of sports.
Yeah, so, there's different types of bullying, your regular face-to-face bullying, cyberbullying, we were talking about even sexting. It's almost an evolution of with the technology and social media. What kind of messages were you able to spread so far to some of the at-risk children so far we've seen?
I'm sorry, but the social media, man, it's a simple one. I told a couple of the kids yesterday, just press delete, block. Come on, really? Why are you staying there when they're talking trash to you? You don't want to talk to them, just delete, man. Just block the whole person. So you don't have to deal with that. But sometimes they want to be part of it. Let's not confuse playing with bullying. You see, we talked about this yesterday too. One thing is, hey, boys play rough. You see, we talk tough sometimes. But it doesn't mean that that's bullying. Let's not confuse that.
Also, you always still live through your father's spirit and teach people of the what your father has taught you. How important is it for parents to get involved with these youngsters and kind of pick up signs of whether they're being bullied or their kids are being bullied? And what do you say to parents out there that are in that situation?
Parents today, with the speed of everything, they are so concerned they have to go to work that they give their kids to somebody else to raise them. You see? So if you're going to give your kid to somebody else to raise, might as well make sure that person is a good example. You don't want to give your kid to somebody a coach that is drunk and doing drugs. So you got to pass your kid on to somebody, but the parent should do their parent job and spend time with the kids, teaching them about life.
That's very true, and we're so grateful that you are able to help us send that message, yourself and Brandon, as well as our local stars with John Tuck and Dan O'Connor so far, Frank the Crank Camacho as well. You're a busy guy. You travel the world. You said 7 months out of the year. Can you explain why you always have a place in your heart to make a stop over here in Guam and before you go off to those bigger countries?
Guam is paradise. It's, man, I post a picture. The first day I arrived, I had to take that picture. The water is clear, the coral reefs and everything. It's just paradise, man, a hidden paradise. I love it here.
The legend, the one and only Royce Gracie, back on Guam once again, helping GSPN spread the anti-bullying message. It's just such an honor to have him here and taking time off of his busy schedule. So we appreciate that, sir. Welcome back to Guam again. Hopefully this is your second time, and hopefully it's not going to be your last time. So we hope to continue to have that relationship with you. We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we're going to have something interesting. 2 MMA icons. They're going to be talking to one another. It may just pique your interest. We'll be right back.
And it's kind of funny that fighters talking about no violence when what we do is violent. But we are professional athletes. We have eating habits that we have to follow. We have to make weight. We train for that day. I'm a professional fighter. I'm from Brazil, just back in Brazil. My uncles actually learned jiu-jitsu when the Japanese was doing business in Brazil. My father was very small, very skinny, couldn't do it, too weak. So he would sit down and watch my uncles learn. The Japanese general left Brazil, and my uncle started teaching, and my father couldn't do a push-up, that's how weak he was. He would sit down and watch my uncles teach class. On his mind, he was memorizing all the moves. Okay? So he was trying to figure out an easier way for him to do it. Because he needs strength to do the moves. He wasn't strong.
Okay, so I'm gonna fanboy a little bit here. I'm hanging out with the legend, Royce Gracie. If you don't know him, I don't know what to tell you.
You live under a rock.
Yeah, you live under a rock. If you don't know who this man is right here that I'm sitting beside, yeah, this is the baddest man on the planet. The godfather of being the baddest man on the planet. Professor Royce Gracie. Thank you for letting me do this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guam Sports Network. I never thought I'd have this opportunity before. So I'm gonna go with some questions that people might not have asked you before. Something I really want to know is, your family basically started the UFC. From UFC 1, or before there was a number on UFC, before it was just UFC, all the way until UFC now. Out of all of the would-haves, all of the could-haves, and the ifs, or should-haves, what do you wish you would have been able to redo about the ownership of the UFC or you running the UFC?
I have no regrets. I would have do it all over again, even the losses. I have a couple of losses on my curriculum, but I would have do it all over again. It's good. There's no regrets whatsoever, man.
Yes, sir.
No, everything happens for a reason. So it happened the way it happened for a reason. I believe it on that.
That's super
So
awesome.
we'll do it all over again, exactly the same. Would not change history, man. Life is good in my world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And listen, his answer was actually a life lesson. Don't change it. Just run with what happened. Everything was perfect. It happened for a reason.
I don't believe there's bad things and good things. So everything happens. Like I'm going to tell a quick story over here.
Let's do it. Yeah.
A farmer bought this new farm, okay? All the farmers from the neighborhood came over and told him, man, this is a bad luck farm. You shouldn't buy it. It's a bad luck farm. A month goes by, and a bunch of wild Mustangs, wild horses come through his farm. He captured them. All the farmers from the neighborhood comes back, it's like, oh man, this is a good luck farm.
Yeah.
Week go by, his son trying to tame one of the horses, fall off, break his arm. The neighborhood comes back again, it's like, dude, let the horses go, sell the farm, it's a bad luck farm. Another week goes by, his son couldn't go to war. Civil War came along, his son couldn't go because he had a broken arm. Good luck or bad luck?
Now it's a good luck farm again.
It's a good luck or bad luck that he had a broken arm, couldn't go to the Civil War back in the day because I had a broke. So it's everything happens, man, for a reason. There's something. Like, I believe, like when we fight and you get injured, or if you get injured before a fight and it stops you from fighting, you get all upset, but there's a reason why that happened. You see?
Yes, sir.
Unless if you're being reckless and jumping out of places and you see, and okay, now you're being reckless, but if during training something happened, you train every day. A week before the fight, you take a cut on your eyebrow, you see, and you can't fight, you have to pull it off because you got stitches and it's what's the odds? You train all year round, never get cut.
Yeah.
And then that day you got cut, a week before the fight, you had to cancel. So things happen for a reason, man.
Life lessons. Life lessons.
Yeah, I feel like Yoda. I mean, I look like Yoda, but I feel like Peter Pan. Come on, man. Toughest opponent.
Toughest opponent.
I know the answer, but I want to hear from you. I already know.
My toughest opponent, aside from myself.
There you go.
Aside from myself. Because if I just talk about toughest opponent being yourself, honestly, when the coaches have been telling me since I was in the 6th grade, the only person that can really beat you is you. Now, as becoming a world champion, understanding my losses before, I understand that all of those losses were my fault. I didn't train correct. I didn't eat correct. I didn't commit correct. My mind wasn't right. I had from the old movie with Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai, I had too many mind. And I grew as a person. So like you said, each loss was my fault. Everything that you do is really on you. You can't blame anybody else. Aside from me being my hardest opponent, my worst opponent, my most favorite opponent that I've ever fought was Mauricio Shogun Hua. When I fought Shogun that day, old school Shogun from Pride showed up that day. And we banged on each other and hit on each other and gave each other everything. At the end of the fight, behind the locker rooms, in the backstage, we saw each other, and it was like we haven't seen each other from a war from 30 years ago. We ran up to each other and hugged each other, and we couldn't believe how that fight went down. We were both so happy about how, obviously I wasn't happy that I lost, but man, the fight was such a story in itself, and it was a good time. So that was my favorite fight. Mauricio Shogun Hua. Live, main event at Staples Center in LA. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that was my favorite one. That was my favorite one, and I lost.
That's a true champion right here, man. His mind, inside of his head, that his toughest opponent. So, okay. Worst injury.
Worst injury.
Not just in a fight, in general.
Worst injury is when it's kind of personal, but I'll let you guys know. It's Guam, your family now. Was when I was sitting at the airport in Hong Kong, and my ex-wife called and told me that she wanted a divorce over the phone. Worst injury ever.
We all got one of those. Yeah. Broken heart. Yeah. Okay.
Worst injury ever.
Okay. Favorite food.
Oh, favorite food.
Let's know Brandon Vera today.
Favorite food is for sure adobo, but
What is that? Sorry, I don't speak Tagalog, man.
chicken adobo is a style of way to cook chicken. It has vinegar, soy sauce, different seasonings, bay leaves, salt, pepper, black peppercorns. I'm trying to think what else is in it right now, but it's an amazing food. It's meat cooked in a sauce, and there's a lot of sauce that you pour over rice. That's in the Philippines. Here in Guam, my favorite food is red rice.
Red rice?
Red rice. We'll go tonight. I'll take you to eat red rice tonight. Or tomorrow.
It's just a rice, but red.
Yes. It's
Orange. Rice, orange rice. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll trust you. Yeah, I don't know if I should trust you guys. Okay.
I think it's my turn. It's my turn. Wait. How do you like Guam?
The island is a hidden paradise. Man, I wake up every morning, I open my curtains, and I see that view.
Thank you, PIC.
Right in front of me, I see the crystal clear water with the coral reefs underneath. How can you have a bad day waking up to that view? It's like, no, you can't. But the island itself, the food, the fruits, coconut. I love my coconuts, man. Last one. Let me make it good. So you already talked about the best fight. Your worst enemy. Let me think. Okay. Top 5 places in the world.
Easy, easy. So top 5 places in the world.
Not in a specific order so nobody gets jealous.
Okay. No specific order. Right out the gate. San Diego, Guam, Philippines. Then Oregon, which is in the United States as well, and then all of Brazil.
I agree with all the Brazil. I would say Bali,
Yes, sir.
Australia,
Yes, sir.
Hawaii,
Okay.
and Guam.
Yes.
Guam is on the top 5.
Yes,
Not in
sir.
a specific order, but it's there.
Very cool.
We agree on a lot of stuff.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much.
So that's it from Mighty Purple here. Thanks for everyone to join us in Sports Speak. Appreciative of these 2 MMA icons to join us on the GSPN Anti-Bullying Campaign, and everybody on the island that comes out and supports GSPN and our community responsibility of what we have to do for our children and the community we live in. So on behalf of Royce Gracie, Brandon The Truth Vera, I'm Patrick Lujan. Good night.